I'm back, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about on this video. It's such a long story, and there's so many possibilities. Part one and part two, we really looked hard at the facts and evidence, the things that we know, the things we're sure of. But that don't mean that everything's answered, and what we don't want to do is ever to discredit what is known because of the things that we don't know. You know, where especially if somebody says, well, you haven't found a tunnel yet, then all of a sudden everything you say is a lie. Well, that's not true. You know, that still means I was shot from 2 3/4 inches above ground level by a gun. It wasn't mine, so somebody shot me. That's a fact. That's hard evidence. We still have the DEA that were called and never came to my house. That's a fact. We proved that with phone records. We still have people dressed like police that come sneaking into my home and disabling the security cameras and searching my drawers and putting stuff in bags. And I had evidence stolen, right, from my home. And so that's all there, that's unexplained, and it'd be real easy if we could catch them and then ask them what it is, but we don't have that luxury, so we're having to speculate. And then you got to remember speculation is speculation. I got my guess as good as your guess. And so to recap on some of the things that we've talked about, we had Rini Escobar Sanchez that disappeared from Odessa 3 months before I bought this home in 2008. And then I told that story of where the clothing fragments in the west side of my yard, notifying Odessa Crime Stoppers, the death smell, that the previous homeowner died, I'm shot from the ground floor. All these things is a great place to, I think great leads to look for Rini Escobar Sanchez, and then smiling guy comes up and says, I'm the one that did it, and they never find the body, And so, which is strange. We had the previous homeowner, which I never met, 2 death notices for him. If you looked on my Facebook, you'll see it. He died in Fort Worth, but he also died in Midland here at his residence, and so that's kind of weird. And then we know there was a brute force entry, somebody home invasion to this home in between October 1st, October 28th, and he died on the 12th. So sometime during the month he died, somebody kicked their way into this home, a forced entry. And so we had that, and then I'm shot in 2012, on January 28, 2012, and then we have the repeated break-ins. I showed you over and over. It took a whole year. These are all the things we went over. There's people getting in the attic. We think the kids getting in the attic because there's a toy that's that was found up there. But then we have the truckers out back. I showed you some pictures of that. They're showing up. They're not unloading freight, and then they're driving off. And it's happening 24/7. I'm going to show you some more of that. Suspected child sex trafficking. When I put all this together, all of a sudden, Hailey Dunn, she's the 13-year-old Colorado City, Texas cheerleader, disappeared from about 80 miles away from here. There's been sightings in the news for her putting her in Midland, Odessa. So it's not out of the question that there's some kind of link between this area and Hailey Dunn. And there was unreported sightings that I heard on the police scanner myself where people called up and said, hey, this is a Hailey Dunn sighting, and it never made the news. But I heard it on the police scanner by the dispatcher. And then also the other things that I know is that because of research, and you can do it yourself on Google, child sex trafficking is the fastest growing crime in America. $32 billion industry. These pimps can make $150,000, $200,000 a year off one of these kids, and then they can use them over and over and over again. They're destroying lives. Suicide rates are going up. STD rates are going up, and all the other crime goes. So if anybody wants to tell you prostitution is a victimless crime is lying to you, because they're victims and they're big money makers, these kids. So putting all this together, I'm like, what if Hailey Dunn is somehow connected with these tunnels, which I believe is used for sex trafficking? I know right 2 weeks before I'm shot, about 2 weeks, I'm in my garage and I'm loading furniture in the back of this pickup truck, and I had this conversation with this person, and I'm telling this person, I know about the tunnels and I've already called the DEA, which I've done, right? Of course, I didn't know the DEA wasn't going to show up. And this person looks at me and says, I'm not a part of a prostitution ring. I didn't say anything about prostitution. I said I knew about the tunnels. That really indicated that it was confirmation to me anyway, and I can't say, oh, this person said that, because they didn't. But that was confirmation to me that these tunnels were being used for prostitution. And I think that's true. If I look at the truckers lining up, it's an ongoing racketeering business, and I've already gave you the facts on child sex trafficking. So then come March 14, 2013, I sat down on my computer and I sent an email to the Department of Justice Safe Child Project. And I'm going to show you that email. I have a print screen of it on my Facebook. I'm going to show you a picture of that email. I sent it to them, and I told them I have overwhelming evidence of the underground facility. Possibly Hailey Dunn, you can find clues to Hailey Dunn here. Maybe she's being even held under my house, I think you should come look, find the tunnel, and possibly find clues. 2 days later, her remains get found. 2 days later, she'd been gone 810 days, and I sent this email and suggested you come to my house and look and find these tunnels, and all of a sudden, here's the remains. It sounded just like Rini Escobar Sanchez, because I wrote Odessa Crime Stoppers, and I said, I think it's a great place to look for Rini Escobar Sanchez. And all of a sudden, I'm the one that did it. Some guy over in Odessa admits to it. And you can see his picture on News West 9. And of course, he didn't ever get charged because they never found the body, and they never come look at my house. So that was almost the same exact scenario twice. Now, I'm not saying they pulled a fast one on all of America, but that's what it looks like, to me. I mean, it's a coinky-dinky here, that happened. And if you step back and you look at what's happened to me, shot from the floor, proven fact, okay, somebody else shot me from the floor, I'm a tunnel or hidden basement, group of cops caught, or people dressed like cops, caught in a capital offense, right? Pictures of it, okay? We got pictures, and normally that's a news story, but we ain't got no news story. So all of a sudden we have the press. I showed you the censorship. It's like pre-World War II Germany. I mean, you can't even get this big story with the pictures into the press, okay? And then we have the medical records. They're showing I was shot 11 days before I was shot. I had another X-ray 9 days before I'm shot. I'm seeing X-rays that doesn't have a previous broken bone in it. It makes it look like they're not even my X-rays. And so we're thinking there's horrific medical crimes going on here. Once again, we can't get nothing done about it. Nobody's trying to stop it. Nobody's investigating it. And most people know, oh, he's crazy. Well, I told somebody the other day, I don't care if you want to call me crazy or not. It's still illegal to shoot a crazy person. And I'm not crazy, by the way. So anyways, I think this is a great place to look for leads for Hailey Dunn, okay? And if anything, you can look for leads to her disappearance, okay? I'm not even sure the remains they found were actually hers. They haven't, as far as I know, they didn't return them to the family. If somebody can verify that, and that'd be interesting. But I think a third party should investigate the remains and see if they even actually have Hailey Dunn's remains. And because the whole thing seems fishy there. And so anyway, I'm going to show you on the computer some stuff, and this is a theory.
All right, here, I wanted to show you this. This is the email. Actually, you can see it went to the Department of Justice. The date was in March 14th, and she's found in March 16th, 2 days later. Here, she disappeared in 2010, so she was gone 810 days. And just some of the things, I have overwhelming evidence to support allegations of underground facility, and I still do, and nobody will look. I was shot from a tunnel. I had some more. She could possibly be held underneath my house right now. I found a child's toy. Anyway, this email right here, this picture is on my Facebook. If you want to go look at that, Rini Escobar Sanchez. Here's the guy that went and they pulled him over. I sent Crime Stoppers a note and said, hey, come look at my house. This might be a great place to look for the missing person, Rini Escobar Sanchez. And here he confesses to murder. And I'm looking at that picture thinking, it looks like he won the lottery to me. It doesn't look like he's facing the death penalty. And of course, they never find the body and nobody ever comes and looks here. Just really strange there. Clothing fragments, and that's a whole nother video, but it was on the death smell on the west side of my yard. Clothing fragments that can still be found 6 years later. And this is one reason that I wondered if Rini Escobar Sanchez or somebody else wasn't buried over there, and that's why I originally called Odessa Crime Stoppers or contacted them. And so that's kind of the story here. This is on my Facebook too. It's a message to Odessa American, to a reporter, and it basically has the exact message that I sent to the Crime Stoppers here, and tells a story about, and come look at my house, Rene Esbar Sanchez, of course, a few days later. Another thing is they never reported on it, and that's been common.